All right. Hey, hey. All right, Virgos. Virgos, I feel like you guys deserve a little bonus. I did do a message for you guys yesterday using the same deck, but we're going to do what I call the highly specific. Okay. So we start out with possibly a temple and within the vehicle. So we could have a Virgo who is traveling or someone else who is traveling. They could have first visited a church and talked to their priest, talked to somebody who to get guidance. I don't feel like this is Virgo. I'm sorry. I just don't. I feel like there's somebody else who consulted either with some spiritual guidance and then they decided I'm getting in the car and I'm driving. I had the consultation. I said what I needed to say. I was seeking, answers, and now that I have it, this is, like a road trip. Somebody is taking a road trip. Who is this? I don't feel like this is Virgo. I just don't. Okay, so it's a King of Swords. We have a Five of Pentacles here. If anything, is a very proud character, okay? They come across as like, on one hand, kind of like a very old school because they're part like dinosaur. This could be somebody who has like very, very old school machismo, like let's say stereotypical, viewpoint of like this is how masculine is supposed to be. I don't usually read for genders, but in the highly specific messages, I try to get as much detail as we can. Okay. Now, this is not to paint anything as negative. I want to express that also. But, they're dressed up, suit and tie, but it does feel like they maybe have some kind of classic thoughts. And again, I will say that this person has a certain amount of machismo because we see that cock, the rooster, and it's like cock of the walk. We see him as this, like, here I am. This is my role in life, and yet he's here with these eggs, and roosters don't lay eggs. What he's missing is his lady. It's like, I'm realizing I may be this very powerful man, but I want my other half. And I'm wondering if like a spiritual advisor said something to him about that. Like, well, I mean, yes, you can be whole on your own, but a compliment to your life is something that, everyone wants. I don't know if this is, I don't ever read for genders. To me, it never matters because we all have yin yang within us. But in the specific messages for this purpose of this story, I will just say that he wants his compliment, whether that's, I want my hen to my rooster, it doesn't matter. It's not gender specific, it's compliment specific. But in this case, I'm going to read it as I see it, which is he consulted, I think, with a spiritual advisor to almost get permission to allow himself to say, but I want her, I want my hen, I want my hen, I want my hen, I want her. And it's like a spiritual advisor gave them the permission to say, it's not you not being like a very powerful masculine to want your hen. Of course you would, because she's your complement. It's almost like they had to not feel like they were being, like weak or something because they want to go drive and get to their, I'm just going to keep saying their hen. Forgive me for not having a better way to say this. With that Eight of Cups, this is somebody who has been alone for quite a while and maybe thinking that they were going to make a whole bunch of their dreams come true, only to discover they're not making any of their dreams come true because they don't have the person beside them. They don't have the person. And if anything, look, I don't know if it's Virgo who stays on their mind, but Virgo is like the monkey on their back. Virgo is like the thing that they want all the time is always heavily weighing them down because there's this desire. I mean, I can be alone, but I feel like I'm only half strength because the other half of my strength would come from my partner, my Virgo. And that's the thing. It's like, instead of being my strength, it's weighing me down because it's like I'm missing this Virgo. So I think they talked to a spiritual advisor who told them, drop the ego. You're standing in ego if you won't admit that you miss somebody. What else did the spiritual advisor have to say? 10 of Cups. You want to be happy. You're supposed to be happy. There's nothing wrong with wanting your compliment. It's your ego telling you that you're supposed to be fine without someone that you absolutely adore, obviously. I think this person was too proud to humble themselves enough to say, Virgo, I really want to be with you. You're my happiness. I think they've been trying to live without Virgo for a long time, and it is not working because they're freaking miserable without Virgo. King of Pentacles. They don't want to be a King of Swords at all. They want to be a King of Pentacles. I want to be yours. All right. Arctic monkeys. I want to be yours. I want to be yours. Let me be your vacuum cleaner. I'll vacuum up your dust. Oh, 2 of Cups in the reverse. They're still like fighting though. This energy of like, I can't let myself say that I wouldn't like be okay without Virgo, because that then it makes it feel like, what would I do without Virgo? It feels like they have been fighting the concept of a compliment all this time. That 2 of Cups in the reverse, there's no way that Virgo and I are something so special. There's just no way. With this Wheel of Fortune upright, something has happened. Either time has passed or they're in a time frame of their life where they're sick of their own ego, but they still needed someone else to give them permission. Maybe this is why they finally cracked and said, I have to at least go talk to a counselor or a spiritual advisor, a priest, somebody, and I have to ask them, what am I supposed to do? Because let me see. 7 of Cups. They got themselves so freaking lost. It's like, I feel like this is somebody who has fought their feelings for Virgo, fought to stay single, fought everything, and was utterly confused about how is it possible if I'm not supposed to need another person, how come I need Virgo? And I'm trying so hard to say, but I couldn't. But they got so confused about, then what is this? How come the thoughts of Virgo won't fade? What am I supposed to do with this? But they had to first go get permission, advice, call it what you will, so that they could go see Virgo. Sorry, guys, I'm going to start coughing if I don't drink. Tell me about this road trip. Is this where you're headed toward, Virgo? Knight of Wands, Justice, both sideways. There is an energy here where it's like, look, if they tried to just have passion with Virgo once upon a time, the universe is like, and maybe even their spiritual advisor was like, but you don't go toward Virgo if you think you're just going there for passion. You understand, if Virgo's your complement, you need to have more to offer them. You don't go in for passion. Passion may be what drives you, but you should want to do right by Virgo, or you should want to offer more. If you only had passion with Virgo in the past and that's what you were worried about, like that's all you want, you maybe need to go face Virgo and figure out if that's still how it feels. Is it only passion that you want? You can't act on it though if that's all it is, because that wouldn't be fair. Not if Virgo wants to give you more than that, but that's all you're there for. I don't know. It feels like they were given some kind of we have the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. They were given some kind of other like realistic advice here, but as they're driving to Virgo, it feels like they're realizing that they did Virgo wrong. They tried to act like Virgo was a karmic. I think. Let me just check. How do you see Virgo at this point as you're driving? The Moon, the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. They still seem to be so messed up over this. So on one hand, they're like, this is like a weird love-hate thing. They want Virgo. They love Virgo. Virgo's the person they can't let go of, almost to the point where they're frustrated. They can't shake Virgo. They want permission to be able to go after Virgo, which they've been granted. And I'm saying permission that the way their brain works, that's what they needed. They needed somebody to tell them it's not weak to want to be with your Virgo. But as they're headed toward Virgo, they're still saying, did I turn Virgo into my karmic on purpose, vilify them on purpose. And in fact, I'm the one who came in for passion, and I'm mad that I fell for Virgo. So I turned them into my villain. And they're like, oh my God, I don't know. I don't know. What if I've been a monster toward Virgo? What if it's too late? What if here I am finally saying, I have to do something about this. I can't live with Virgo in my head anymore and try to be without Virgo when that's not what I want. But as they're driving there, it's like they're finally contemplating the other side of this. Has it been me that hurt Virgo? I don't even know. We've got the Nine of Swords. They're starting to realize they may have caused Virgo tremendous stress. They were mad at Virgo for a very long time. We have a Three of Wands sideways. They're also realizing that now that they're on their way, because I do think they're on their way to Virgo, but let's double check. I think that they're starting to realize the magnitude of what they've acted like toward Virgo. Let me see. Are you headed toward Virgo? Because that's what this whole thing seems like. Temperance, yes. Headed to their complement, the person that is their, white and red peppermint stick. Peppermint sticks are like swirled white and red. Everything here says they have to get to Virgo. Going toward Virgo on one hand feels better, but it's also giving their mind time to think about their own behaviors. How do you think you treated Virgo at this point? Hang on. Seven of Swords, Ten of Swords. I didn't tell Virgo truths. I gave Virgo confusion, and I ended things even worse. I left Virgo not knowing what the heck was going on. I ended things ugly with the Ten of Swords, and I disappeared on Virgo. This person, like the last time that they saw or talked to Virgo and then like ghosted, they might have been rude. They might have implied something that wasn't true. They may have intentionally said something to make things murky with Virgo. I don't know if they tried to pick a fight or if there's something here where they were either so confused or they were lying. Maybe they acted like they were going to see Virgo again, but then they knew that they weren't and they left things murky. Princess of Swords, they played some weird game. They left Virgo, but then spied on Virgo after going into silent mode. I feel like this is not a nice character, honestly. I'm not sure what... It feels like they had significant issues. Why did you look at Virgo as a Queen of Pentacles in the reverse? Did Virgo piss you off? Six of Swords. Virgo said something like, I don't know if they were being a jerk or what, or if they said to Virgo that they wouldn't see Virgo again or something along those lines. And Virgo was like, well, okay, then that's how it is. They got mad because it seemed like Virgo would be okay without them. That's what hurt them so much. Virgo could wear some pretty amazing jewelry, by the way. I'm just noticing awesome accessories here. Virgo may have spectacular hair also. It could be somebody that they really love Virgo's hair, because I'm noticing again and again, like lots of, curly, like long kind of just like, I don't know, just like hair that they may really, really like. But they felt insulted that Virgo would be okay without them. That's where all their ego hit. This person, so wait, were you nuts about Virgo from the gate? But then you played some game to see how much Virgo cared about you, to test if it was real. And when Virgo was like, I guess if you're leaving, then I have to let it go. And then that pissed them off. And they were like, see, Virgo doesn't even like me. And then they've been fighting all this time their own emotions for Virgo. We got this Eight of Wands. They were, from the gate, they wanted to like literally jump into Virgo's life. And then somehow they were made to feel like Virgo didn't care if they weren't going to be around. The only thing is, this says that they played a game. I mean, you can't play games with somebody. This is why I say a game. What are you doing writing in hieroglyphs? You can't discern what that means. It's like they pretended things were over with Virgo. Maybe they even broke up with Virgo, assuming then Virgo would want them back. And instead, Virgo didn't call and didn't reach out. And they were like, oh my God, Virgo was supposed to like rush to me and tell me that they still wanted me. And instead, Virgo let them go. Is that what this is? Virgo brought so much color into their otherwise, I think, bleak life. Look, this person damaged all of this from the beginning, is what it looks like. Why are you only taking half accountability with that Justice card? 5 of Wands. It's just that they haven't been able to admit they're the ones who set the direction for this. Oh man, they're just now starting to realize they have no idea how much they may have hurt Virgo. That Virgo might not want them back. All of this stress, the fact that they're realizing they should have quit acting like this a long time ago, because they've been freaking miserable without Virgo for a long time. Look, are you going to have any success in talking to Virgo? Hierophant. Look, all I can say is that they're fully awakened at this point. So whatever they do say to Virgo may be divinely guided. It may be some of the words that, that spiritual advisor or counselor said to them. It might be that they just finally feel like they can connect to Virgo somehow. 10 of Cups. I almost feel like this person's going to cry. I feel as if they may lay it all on the line. Even if Virgo hasn't said a word, they may actually tell Virgo that they wanted to marry Virgo. I definitely see tears from this person. Could be standing outside. They may not even get all the way into like Virgo's house. There is something here where this person, God, there's been so much pent up misery here and frustration and all of this. I got to ask one last thing. Do you realize though that you kind of started all this, that you created all this problem? 9 of Wands. Yeah, but it took them a long time to see it from the other side of the lens, that if they played this game with Virgo, I'm going to break up with Virgo, but then Virgo should, chase me and want me back. But then when they didn't, then it was like, Virgo doesn't love me. And now they're too proud to ever come back and say, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry if I hurt you. I didn't want to break up. I wanted you to chase me. I think they've taken a very long time to look at their own wounds and why they would have behaved that way, instead of just been thrilled and delighted that there was a person that they adored. Look, I can see why this person needed to finally, trust me, they've been suffering a heck of a lot more than Virgo ever has been in this story. But that is what we got on this one. All right, I don't pick the cards. It's whatever comes out. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. I really appreciate you guys. All right, take care. Bye for right now.